Arteta, sign me, man. I know you ain't seen all the footage, but sign me, man. You think if Thames was watching me, I'm not gonna do this? The guy mad.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. Big up Ian Wright for that one. As the big man just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. Win, lose or draw, Arsenal fans, you know I'm out here. A's up till we freeze up. And it has been a case of win, lose or draw. And it's a funny one, man, because in our last 16 games, haven't tasted defeat too many times. I cry about our need for greater attackers. We're up there statistically. I think we've dropped off a cliff defensively across all fragments compared to last season. We're up there. We are second. The table doesn't lie, but it doesn't always tell the truth. On one hand, Mikel Arteta and the whole club and the players waffle about fine margins. That's the only way we're going to get, to the higher level. People spoke about when City do fall off, we're going to be the ones. Liverpool have done that, people. So the table doesn't lie. The devil's in the details. We know there's been also refereeing and injuries, but the injuries are not self-inflicted, but we didn't proof the squad with enough depth. We know we need a striker and a winger and attacking options. A lot of this is consequences as to what we have not done either in January or the summer. Now we're down to our bare bones. The manager looks out of answers. The players look down and feeling sorry for themselves. All we can do in the Premier League is just win games for winning games' sake, essentially, people, because it's getting dark. It could get a lot darker. Big up you lot that have blind optimism in the Champions League. You know, you're in it to win it. PSV is one thing, and, Sporting Lisbon, Villarreal, Olympiacos serves as reminders to not count your chickens before they hatch. If you get through that, you've got Atletico and Madrid. And it is what it is, man. Winners win, losers explain. We haven't got over the line. 3 years, 3 different contexts. Haven't won the Premier League. In the 2 years we've been in the Champions League of that 3, I'll cut the club a bly. Haven't done that. Anytime we're in sink or swim moments in the FA Cup since winning it, and also in the League Cup this year, we've crumbled, really. So yeah, this isn't harsh. I'm past the point of is it Mikel Arteta, is it the board, is it the Cronkies, is it the players, everybody? Because if we won, everybody gets a pat on the back. Everybody's in this thing together, man. It is what it is. So yeah, we're 13 points behind Liverpool. We're actually closer to 10th than we are to Liverpool, which tells you everything, people. And above all, and the most disappointing thing, it tells you there's a base to build upon. And let's not make no bones about this. This year has been the worst of the title challenges. We've not even really challenged. Like it's Liverpool have been Usain Bolt in 13 points. One thing, they've been 7 to 9 points ahead of us. It's been a feeble attempt. There's been no progression. This has been stagnation. 2022-23. Away from the obvious, the attacking play. Defensively, last season, I think we were great. This year has been rubbish from all the variables we can control down to the players. Of course, injuries, suspensions. Lewis Skelly is public enemy number 1. Like, look at what we're doing. Marino is up front for the vast majority of this period that we've been in. 2 young players in Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri have been 2 of our better players. We've lost Saka. The more experienced players, more often than not, haven't stood up to be counted, really. So we've got a good foundation, but we've not kicked on. There's been complacency, negligence, or incompetence, or all of them, going back to the summer. I gave the summer a 6 out of 10 for 2 reasons. I like the signing of Calafiori. I know the man can't defend. He's like an Italian Bambi on ice. And one of the good decisions Arteta made tactically was bringing him off, because you therefore would have been the 6th red card we would have had this season. And Tierney, just from Tierney putting that half-decent cross into the box and Calafiori hitting the post, left backs on the best of days have saved us. That was our best kind of thing in that game. So yes, as I was saying, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I like Calafiori signing, and mainly for the outgoings. We was getting decent money. From a sporting point, we didn't bring anybody in. Now, my personal thing is, I can't forgive the summer. As I said, I'm past the point of Arteta wanted players. They didn't give it to him. Arteta bought the wrong things. A lot of that could be true. I'm not a fly on the wall. I don't care. Did we get the players in that improves this 11? No. Did we future-proof the squad with some exciting prospects? No. Did we proof the squad in the event of injuries, learning from previous years and also counting our blessings from last year? No. Now, if I do forgive the summer, right, and I don't, but if I say, you know what, mistakes happen? The January market, nothing happened. Bearing in mind, we were offered Ollie Watkins. We didn't go for him. And whether it's Ollie Watkins, bringing forward the Sesco's and Nico Williams, which is dream chasing, getting a domestic loan if you make Neto's deal permanently, God forbid, Raheem Sterling's getting something from abroad, didn't do anything. Big up Alvaro Morata. I'm not saying he's the Messiah, and on the best of days, I wouldn't have him at Arsenal. But you see, in January, when we're desperate, beggars can't be choosers. When you're hungry, you don't care if you're eating Novikov, you don't care if you're eating beans on toast, people. It is what it is, man. And I would say for the players, out of all of the fragments at the football club, the manager, who you've been here 6 years now, I only focus on these last 3 years, including this year, where we've announced that we're trying to win things. You haven't got over the line. I have to be harsh and nitpick and look at small margins, because that's what they're going to do in the summer. You take the good and make it better. You look at where we failed and make it better. That's how life works. People never tell me to stop being positive when I am being positive. And then they say, oh, you're being too negative. You lot keep smoking your copium, your hopium, your if this happens and that happens. I'm not on that. Anything I say is not as harsh as these boys are going to feel, because these are the players training, living and breathing and all of that. You lot know how it felt in May. You know how it's going to feel probably giving Liverpool a guard of honor and being second best and having nothing set in stone. And for the club to not have a replacement for Edu, we're going to get into it. David Ornstein has spoken. To not have a replacement, to not act in January, to not maximize the summer. You lot have let the players down, if anything, you've all let the fans down. And I would say for the players, I know there's injuries, even when everybody's been fit. When it's sink or swim and those tough moments and there's adversity and effort, if we're going to lose, we're going out like some Spartans. It is what it is. Some of you can't do it. There's only a handful of players that I feel have given me anything close to what I want to see this season. I might be missing out some names. Bukayo Saka, if he was going to have a standout season. Bukayo Saka, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, Gabriel Magalhaes, Saliba. Of these 3 years, you haven't been playing to the standard that you can, but you've done your things. Jurriën Timber coming back from an ACL, you stood up to be counted. David Raya saved us bare times. Cool, you made a mistake against Newcastle, but we've owed you some clean sheets. So shout out Raya. There might be one or two players, if that are missing. Martinelli safe, Trossard safe. Wonder, and I love you lot know me. I love what Martin Odegaard. I'm not against keeping Trossard for the squad. You know, I'll cut every excuse for Martinelli, who is not relevant because he's been injured. There's not enough tugs in the team. You see, when you want to win a Premier League trophy, and I'm not even talking in relation to Nottingham Forest, if you want to be a team that's second best and giving Liverpool a little fight or City a little fight, we've got enough, you know. If you want to get over the line, you need to. There's been regression. I like the fact that I am bitching, pardon my language, about our attacking play and our defensive play and our top six record and all of that. But that and other things, that tells me there's a base, there's a foundation that if we truly want it, I'm not saying I'd love us to big up my guy Agal. I'm not going to go as far as Agal and we're going to dominate, because the whole topic of dominating, you need to be on what City's on. But if we truly wanted to realize the present moment, we'd have done whatever. And collectively as a club, you're telling me that you're comfortable. Because if top four wasn't a formality, bearing in mind 5th place could arguably get Champions League, would you have acted in January? There's been moments you haven't, but I think you would. And you can cry and do the woe is me and act like Mikel Arteta is a damsel in distress. He's not. He's getting 15 million a year. He's been here for 6 years. Edu employed him. Now he is apparently having a say in who will employ Edu. And if little man Jason Ito takes that role, the influence of Arteta improves. And he's getting all of this without having Arsene Wenger's credentials. So you clearly like what you're doing. I hear the shouts about he could walk if he doesn't, whatever. I hear that. There's logic. That might happen one day. But arguably, he could have been sacked for not winning a league title or domestic trophies at other clubs. Everybody's in this together. Even with Mikel Arteta, I think we need a striker. I think we need a winger. I think there's logic with if you give him this, that, and the other things will happen. But seeing with my eyes, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that we're not getting Isaac, but dreaming. You slap Isaac or one of them kind of players in there and everything, yeah, we're lit. It's not. Yeah, of course, we'll get more points, we'll score more goals, we'll do these things. But look how we're attacking. And as I said, I'm not against how Arteta sets up, left to right, trying to find the perfect opening. But one I am against it. What I am against is it's not quick enough, especially when teams are being rigid because everyone's clocked out to play against us. 2, when sometimes things, like in life, you can plan, things go left, in it. You have to try it. You have to try something new. And we've not done that. We play the same kind of way. It's not happening. It's not happening. So it is what it is. If nothing changes, nothing changes. But people will sit here and act like injuries are something methodical, cry about refereeing decisions. These are all factors. But in your heart, do you believe that we didn't win this title just because of injuries? You're a liar. Do you think it's just because of refereeing decisions where obviously we know Arsenal, we're ref differently, and we could have won the league regardless of ref decisions. We could have definitely made it a closer fight than Liverpool being 13 points without that. In half of those games, the 2 against Brighton, we still could have nicked it. Fulham, we still could have nicked it. West Ham, we did not turn up. In many ways, no 2 seasons are the same, but I feel like I'm seeing the same identical things. I'm more peed off about the draws than the defeats. Ironically, not really yesterday because we're at where we're at. Of course, I wanted to win. It's more the draws. The manager, and I'm pretty sure, I bet you if I'm sure I've got, we're going to get into all the stuff, but he always talks about fine margins. How often are we on the right side of those fine margins? And again, I'm not being critical, but didn't hold on to, and it's all ifs and buts. If you held on to the lead against Liverpool, I kind of cut them some sympathy. But if you held on to the lead against City, no sympathy for being 2 goals up against Aston Villa and not bringing it home. Didn't turn up didn't take your chances and very slow and one counter attack like West Ham happened against Fulham. Bournemouth, yes, it was a red card, but our performance was poor. In the Premier, Newcastle have had our number. But in terms of output and performance and tenacity to rock up at St. James's Park with how we played, myth, absolute myth. And again, we're all balanced here. We know you can't win them all and things like that. But in today's day and age, you have to. And Mikel Arteta, I think Pep Guardiola is the best manager in the league. Everything else is subjective. Whether you want to, I don't feel 100% comfortable saying Arteta, but whether you want to say Slot, Arteta, Areola, whatever, everybody's got a decent manager 9 times out of 10. Everybody's got one. Amarin, Scammerwin, I don't know what he's on. But in this day and age where everyone's a tactician, I must admit, Gaffer, whether it's one of those Areolas kind of cute and clever managers or Graham Potter or someone that's street smart like Sean Dyche or Espirito Santo or Eddie Howe, you've got no answers. And I don't know what it is because I have seen you, Mikel Arteta, play attractive football. I have seen you change things. I have seen you adapt the system. I thought initially people were doing too much, but I get it now. I think you're too scarred by the 2022-23 season. You're too focused, as dumb as it sounds, on not losing. I do think you go into games trying to win. I don't buy into this rhetoric that we're just trying to do things from set pieces, but you're too focused on not losing and controlling them kind of things to the point where defensively, yeah, we're not at the standards, but we're kind of decent. Midfield, is what it is. Once we get to the final third, we don't look like a team that scores goals, and it's mad because we're up there for goals. Goals win games. There's never that bravery, and unfortunately, Gaffer, a team is a reflection of the manager, good and bad. It's not all you. But yeah, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And as I said yesterday and maybe the day before, and big up you lot, smash the like button on the watch along. At 4 p.m, I'll be here with Jess. It's show me time now. I'm only going to believe that you're signing. Honestly, I'll be here talking all the rumors and that. I honestly will only believe we're signing a striker when I see one taking pictures at London Coley. I will only believe we're winning a Premier League title genuinely now when I'm at the trophy parade in Islington or whatever trophies. Lip service is done. These last 3 years, it's been mad, and we've stagnated this year. There's not one aspect I look at this season versus the past 2 years and think, well, we're better. If anything, Lewis Skelly and Eve and Wanyeri announcing themselves. We're not. 2022-23, Gabriel Jesus, that first 6 months, inverted fullbacks, first title challenge, quote-unquote attractive football. Second half was on knife edge. Last season, I wouldn't say we necessarily played attractive football, but it was definitely better than this. And I just think the whole team, we defended a bit better. We were just like monsters. This year, we've just been existing, whether we've won, lost, or drawn. I find myself speaking about the same things. And I think we've indirectly signed up for these things. I think the injuries, and obviously with what we're facing right now, and on the face of it, statistically, drawing against Nottingham Forest and losing to West Ham in line of the last 16 games isn't that bad. But this is all in spite of everything. Rather, you get it? Like, it is what it is, man. Big up yourself, Aaron and Josh, you lot are here. Not signing Tony was an idiot move. Moani was there on loan. Bro, you see me? I hear you. But whether I'm past the point of players, more experienced players, project players, whatever. All of these, you know, they say keeping the powder dry, all of this. I hear all of that. All of that makes sense. But then there's also the other side of the argument, which we can talk about, that side till we're blue in the face. It's what you did or what you didn't do, and it's what we've got or what we haven't got. Context is, yeah, all of that stuff. I think some people do the copium thing. You can say refereeing decisions, this, that, and the other. All that matters for me is where we finish in May, which, boy, we need to make sure we don't drag ourselves out and draw ourselves out into a top 4 battle. This is why like football, like life. If you feel sorry for yourself, it can get worse. Same way when things are going good, it can get better. There's no time. It's done. They didn't do nothing. Oh, nothing. And I'm past moaning about this. I moan more about the summer than the January period. January, I was checked out already, but I thought it was a thing of, brother, you actually don't have players now. What's going on? They didn't do anything. We know even if everyone's fit, the squad is short. Saka's injury, they still weren't going to do anything. Jesus' injury kicked gears into gear, or we thought they did. It's how predictable is it there's going to be injuries? It just feels like a Mikel Arteta apprenticeship. And what I mean by that is I don't think everybody's doing best for the club. Nothing changes. The blame can never solely be on Mikel Arteta. It can't be so. You'd be an idiot if you're just blaming it all on Mikel Arteta. It's everyone. I can't guarantee persisting with Arteta and waffling about what he's done in the past for these last 3 years that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I can't guarantee you sacking this man will. But at some point, we're going to have to ask the question, and ultimately the buck's going to fall on the guy. And being devil's advocate, where it comes to Mikel Arteta, broski, I'm not saying get rid of him or keep him, but if we know the Cronkies are not going anywhere, rightly or wrongly, and we know how they operate, we need to find someone, or Arteta needs to be able to way to thrive with it in spite of that. And now we will know what a man says in the public and how he truly feels about his employers is going to be very different. But if I take your word at face value, which every fan should, because in theory, we shouldn't even know or care about sporting director, scouting department. We should just watch our teams on the weekend. You say you've got the best owners, and let's have it right. It's I think too many people are committed to Arteta or hating Arteta more than they are about the club. I think he's done a lot of good. You're not getting over the line. It is looking like the moment now where, brother, you might not be the guy to take this to the next level. I personally think Arteta, the players, definitely the owners. For me, everyone's on borrowed time. If you lot stay, it is what it is. If you go, can't cry. I don't think your position can be untouchable. It's a waste. It's a waste. I know Arsenal fans gas up their players, and listen, we know the social media for Arsenal fans are special. But speaking for myself, maybe not the whole squad, but there's a number of individuals that if you ask genuine football fans, they're having Saliba, they're having Gabriel, they're having Timber, they're having Ben White, they're having, dependent in Chelsea, definitely having David Raya, you're having young Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri, you're having 1-2 players. We've got them, and we've not built on it. And how physically draining is it to keep going and having stamina and motivation? I don't know, but the club is a collective failing, isn't it? All of you have made me sick. Hope we get Saka and Nelly back soon. It's Champions League or bust. Big up you lot that are doing the Champions League or bust thing, man. We're in it. You got to try and win it, but boy, you're the dag. Boy, yeah, no. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not on that. The least I can expect now is a formation change to freshen things up. Maybe a 3-5-2 or 4-4-2 could be our way forward to scumbag wins. Arteta's going to have to try stuff, and he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, because admittedly, people like myself, I'm going to say, why didn't you do that sooner, bro? You've got a manager that's still reverting to type. Clearly don't trust the young kids, Cabba and Nathan Butler or Deji. Running Marino. The Marino up front thing is not banging. Cool, we did a thing against Leicester. Sterling, we know what we're getting. Trossard spent. You signed up for this. You can't act like Mikel Arteta is doing us a favor or prodigal son. It's a relationship of convenience. He's managed a massive club with the COVID and the changes and this and that. He's learning on the job. He's getting to get this experience. They're getting a manager that's looking like you might just be one that's going to get you Champions League and happy to work within the context. It's everybody's in this. I think some people fancy Mikel Arteta, and I promise you he'll make more than 15 million a year if he starts his own OnlyFans, especially if he gets Odegaard and Calafiori. Some of our fans are weird. I do think there's some that are just committed to more hating him. I'm not speaking about people like yourselves and other people that you see me rate that I've looked at everything. I think we need to move on from Arteta. I've looked at everything. I like Arteta. I always say I don't tell you what to think, just think. That's fair enough. I don't know. I can see why people... Like Igal, for example, big up Igal. Hopefully he's back here. I don't know how he can sit here and talk about domination and this and that, but I understand it. We've got impressionable players. I can understand why he would feel like that. I can't believe that, though. Big up DJB. I wish that was the DJB that's on Dan Potts' channel. I'm rather fond of his content, man. The buck stops with the manager. Players look bored, tired, and fed up. It's only time for the dressing room is lost, my friend. That's the one thing I agree in general. I don't think he's lost the dressing room yet because they're still playing the way he wants. But once that happens, if that happens tomorrow, as we know, the gaffer has to go. Big up Ahmad. Forgive me if I've mispronounced it. The attack has been neglected for such a long time. It should have been our only priority. I wouldn't say only, but Goals win games. When we went out of Bayern, we all know there was chat about X Factor and war chess and all of this. And again, I agree with certain things in general, but some of our fans fall for the BS, keeping the powder dry. There's no players available. Really, with what we see now. Fair enough. Fair enough. And I do think the reason, obviously, Arteta's a stubborn man. He's going to do things how he's going to do things, yeah. But I also believe a big part as to why he's maybe not trusting the young players or changing formation or not learning from like mistakes as quickly as you can. I do think he's got pressure on himself. I actually think Arteta wants to win a Prem. You're just going about it mad. But we're not a club that people are like, yo, you've been here 6 years, my friend. Last 3 years, we just gave you a 15 mil a year contract. We might rip that up. If we was that club, which I'm not necessarily saying that I want us to be, then you might see him not do certain things. There's an unconscious complacency. Everything's nice. It's always about tomorrow. It's always about learning from the past and also is tomorrow, which, again, I don't disagree with that in general. But we never seize the present moment. Look at Liverpool. Do you know how dirty FFG have done Onslaught? It don't look like it now, and they might even do worse. They're running away with it, 13, 14 points. I'm sure if you ask any Liverpool fan, January and the summer, they did the new manager dirty. 3 key players' contracts running down. Liverpool have issues with depth. They might get better injuries next season. They might fall off next year. Whatever happens tomorrow is tomorrow. I actually feel the real managerial job for Onslaught starts next season because naturally teams are going to now know how he kind of plays. We don't know if them players are going to stay. The very fact that they're at the pinnacle of the domestic league, they're at the top. The only way is down. You can't get better than first unless they go and win the champs. You can't get better than first. So naturally there's that. But tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems. If Liverpool don't win a league for 20 years or whatever, 2024, 25, they've seized it. I don't care about being the best team of 2024 last year because 20 years from now, no one's going to remember that. Nobody waffles about the second place Arsenal sides. Going back to Wenger. Wenger was killed for less than what we're seeing. Emre was killed for less than what we're seeing. There's a little bit of optimism and the whole club has reverted back to type. They say, and again, people will move the goal. A lot of these knowledgeable Arsenal fans, they'll move the goalposts on Liverpool. For me, I believe in sport in it. Liverpool, congratulations. Whatever I have to say about Liverpool or we have to say about our club, they did it in it. Simple. They were better than everyone across the course of the season. That's their business. Congratulations. Give them the guard of honor. That's what sport's about. Simple as. If you don't want that to be the case, make sure you pip Liverpool. The same fans who said when City fall off, we're going to be there. Are we there? Regardless of context, are we there? We're not. And there's always context. Yes, there's context, but there's actually what happened. What happens? Are we there? We're not there. We're doing a lot of explaining. We're not. But we all know how it goes, man. We're going to be here again and again. And them same people that were saying they're moving the goalposts with Liverpool. Liverpool are in it. And rightly so. There's no logic. I'm sure there is logic. Liverpool fans, I'm sure they would have said in the summer, for obvious reasons, transitional period. They said transitional period. Liverpool are going to get injuries. Liverpool have a tough fixture list. They can't keep relying on Mohamed Salah. This, that, and the third. They're not as good as you think. Everyone was doing the mathematic thing. Now they're flipping it and saying, oh, aren't they? Again, things can change. But they weren't saying that. Now they're flipping it. And these are the people that become puppets. And you say enough things enough times, general public believe it. Go and look at what Project Mockingbird is. These same people are now saying, oh, Onslaught inherited winners. You got to remember Liverpool were doing this and that, which is, again, isn't a lie. Liverpool have won better things, but it's dishonesty. Winners win and losers explain, you know. But yeah, it's not all on Arteta, but he has to hold the blame, bro. Bro, not getting a 9's an idiot thing. And even with what I'm seeing at the moment, unpopular opinion, signing a striker does not solve all of Arsenal's problems. Yes, we need a bad boy number 9, all of that. But are we seeing it? Maybe Arteta will change things. And he did come out and say, I know we need a 9 or something along those lines yesterday. But are you seeing us create chances to the point? Even like, ironically, that period before Dubai last year when bag of chances in the FA Cup against Liverpool didn't put the ball in the back of the net. If we were still maneuvering like that, I could say, yeah, I said it then, even then I don't believe it, but I could say a striker helps. A striker does help, but we're not really creating chances. You'll have your striker in the box and no service, which is why I said there's a lot that Arteta needs to address purely on the sporting front. There's a lot these fucking players who are going to be here needs to pattern up. The board, I don't think you care. I genuinely don't think you care. I think you will do the Context FC. You'll get the PR peddled out in all the articles, but you need to look at yourselves. The fact that you didn't act in Janet tells me you don't care. It tells me whoever's fault it was. It tells me you don't care. And if you do care, You want to do things within you, how you want to go about things, and how real football fans and Arsenal fans want to go about things are two very different things. Not serious. The club should try and sign players right now. There's free agents and deals to be done before the window opens. You see other teams do it. Why can't we get deals done? At this point, bro, you lot just do what you want, man. The free agent thing is gone now. If we were still within touching distance, maybe might as well, bro. Just get back to what you need to, man. Arteta is responsible for the system. The players are responsible for executing on the day. Too many players have been poor this season. Trossard, Martinelli have been below average. Yeah, but this, and then people called me negative. Because when I said these things, people want to hide behind we got 90 odd goals and stuff. Again, that tells me there's a base. But you see, once you put on, I need to win a Premier League. Who in the summer are you betting is going to get the goals? It's Mohamed. I wish it was Mohamed Salah. It's Bukayo Saka, right? Now Havertz can score 1-2 goals. Trossard can score 1-2 goals. Martinelli can score 1-2 goals. They've done that. They'll go on purple patches. But cold-hearted killers, people that are going to do it for 20, 25, dare I say 30, 35 of the Premier League games. And then you have even those players there, you have to give them the luxury of there might be a little off day. Who else is going to pick up the slack? The players have a lot of these players haven't wanted it enough. I said it earlier. The players, and there are probably a couple. If I didn't, the players the names I said, them man, you done what you could in it. Everyone can do better naturally, but throughout the course of the season up until this point, you man did what you could in it. Gabriel, you've shown me you've done all you can. Saliba, I don't think you're playing to your standards, but you've shown me a level. Thomas Partey, you've had some bad games, but you've been one of our better performers. Jurien Timber, you've done your thing. Saka, you've done your thing. Lewis Skelly, Wanyeri, done your thing. David Raya, couple man names I'm missing out. I'd throw Declan Rice, not to their levels, but I'll throw him in there. Like, because I think we got more problems than you. But you ain't been to many of them names I said. That's 7-8 players of a squad of 19 trying to compete in 4 competitions, let alone 38 games in the Prem. But fans want to do the kumbaya and if this never happened and when we do this and it's all ifs and what ifs and all this BS, bro, which are all right in isolation, but fans are dishonest. It's all buried in copium and hopium. Some are probably buying copium and hopium from their dealers, mixing it up and having serious flavors. I don't tell you what to think. Just think. You don't have to have opinions like myself. Just think. It's easy to blame and find naive ways. It's harder to actually search. As much as there's outside contexts, a lot of what we have done has been directly or indirectly engineered. But people want to tell me there's only a few amount of players that will improve us and blah, blah, blah. And before people do it, no, I don't know the manager if we sack Arteta. No, I could not tell you all the players to sign. It's not my job. It is where it is, man. Appreciate you, S-man. Mikel ain't the guy. He doesn't play attacking football. He's a 460 merchant. That's mid-table survival football. Even Arteta, where you're saying over my dead body, bro, there's a corpse in Nottingham now, right? Isn't there? And he's saying, oh, well, we should be mid-table with everything we have. Yeah, I hear that. But we're not. We can talk about that. But then there's a next side of the conversation. We're not. We're second. 13 points off Liverpool. So what now? I hear the half glass. What would they call it? The glass is half empty, half full. I hear all of that. But then you have to look at what is, not what if, not what could be, what should be, what happened, what is in this present moment. And you haven't seized your opportunity. Regardless, there's been 3 years. You can do 3 different sets of contexts and all this. Have we won anything? Because what people can conveniently like to miss out in this fan base. When you actually look at what Arteta is saying, he has not said anything that I haven't said in this opening half an hour, basically. He hasn't. When you lot are waffling about best team of 2024, he said, that's cool, but we need to win a title. Which is why I say, I think your heart's in the right place. You're just going about it a mad way. And I'm not Arteta in for the sake of being in. I think you're a good coach. And I'm not saying I'm in for that matter. I think you're a good coach. I think there's many qualities I like about you, but I like my football club more. If you cannot get us over the line, there has to at some point be a conversation. And if that new manager doesn't work, try it again. Because this stability thing nothing. I'm not saying to do anything, but nothing guarantees success. And I don't think this club is proactively going about it. It's a flipping privilege to play for this football club, manage this football club, work with this football club, and you lot are taking a piss week in, week out. You can lie to the puppets. You can wheel out couple man to the best seats and the PR and all of this sort of stuff and get them tickets for Live Nation and do all of that, which the seats are quite nice, I must say. And they can control the narratives, but in you lot's heart and for the thinkers of this fan base, you see it. You can lie to people some of the time. Can't lie to people all the time. There's been periods this season where I'm sure, the Arteta sexuals were giving it to, the Arteta routes. Now the Arteta routes are having it. Where if you looked at this in a balance, we have not been good this season from the jump, bro. From the jump. And I beg anyone that gives a crap, go and watch my fan cam when we beat Aston Villa away from home. There's only been a couple of moments I've said fair enough. Again, under the lens of winning a title. There's only been a couple of moments when we tumped up West Ham. Who's not gonna? When we tumped up West Ham, tumped up City, tumped up Sporting. Who's not gonna like that? Obviously, I don't. Couple of the top 6 games, we conceded some silly goals, but who's not gonna like? It's definitely with us who used to get battered. Who's not gonna like having a decent record against the top 6? That's cool. There's plenty of other games. There's times in the Premier League, it's a 38-game calendar. I've seen Liverpool win in different contexts. Sometimes you win when you've been shit. Sometimes you lose when you've been playing, you lose when you've been playing well. Sometimes you draw when you deserve a bit more or less. 9 times out of 10, game in, game out, you get what you want. We got away with it against Villa. A point would have been the fairest of results against Leicester. I think we deserve to beat City away with 10 men. Obviously, we conceded a goal. You can caveat that. There's been a lot of people stop doing all this. Half of the issues with this football club, we have not discovered this year. And as much as if people want to waffle about refereeing decisions and this and that and the other, there's several variables we could have controlled. Of course, smash the light, but Arsenal can't predict everybody's going to get injured. You can make an educated guess. We've seen Liverpool. I'd imagine if we want to be a team that wins the league, you look at City and you look at Liverpool because they've done it in different ways. It's natural, in it. In the same way, if I'm a young aspiring footballer, I don't know, I'm a centre mid. I might not ever be Luka Modric, but I'm going to watch tapes of how he does things, right? So you're learning from other people. It's not making sense. We've seen how injuries can derail things. We've seen how, Liverpool got like maybe even 90 points or something. Maybe even 100. I don't know. But there was a season they got bare points and they still didn't win it. We've had times where forget all of this under Arteta, where injuries have derailed our season when we're struggling for 4th. Even last season, we had a clean run. Don't know what's being done there, with the rehabilitation last year versus now, all the other things. But we still had Timber out, still had Partey out, still had Tomiyasu out. We should have come into the season well equipped. And then you've got a manager who has not been rotating. Now he can't, but hasn't been rotating and making those silly mistakes. Experience can be overrated, but it cannot be overstated. Listen, with the greatest of respect to the Dutch league, I don't listen. The Eredivisie, like Ancelot's won the Eredivisie. He's about to win the Prem. The Prem is what's gonna make man rate you in it. But how much transferable experience because of that? Jurgen Klopp has shown he's worked at Cologne, I believe, Dortmund. He's worked in that in limited kind of funds. He was at Liverpool from 2015 to 2024, right? Different to us. But from the moment he got there, I know people. I don't want to be in finals for the sake of being in finals. Naturally, you want to win. But the man were getting in finals. They're picking up domestic cups. I don't need to talk about the Champions League in the Premier. They were really making it tough. I don't want to be some of you cheering for Spurs last season. Some of you are doing idiot stuff. I'm not on that. Anytime the variables are out of your control, you're in issues. And for me, you need to maximize your own stuff. I said it last season, said it the year before. No matter how good Liverpool are and Onslaught, no shade to Liverpool, and I likewise with City in the previous years. But before I look at them and what they did or didn't do, I'm looking internally, and I think we're not winning this Prem this year or last year. I cut the club a blight for 2022-23 because of what we didn't do. We only need to look at ourselves. Yeah, sacking Arteta won't make our players 20% better. Have you noticed? I haven't said sack him or keep him. I think all aspects should be on the table. If Arteta leaves, I'm not crying. If he stays, it is what it is. Either way, you need to make sure you do what needs to be done in the summer. And I'm not putting no eggs in that basket. When I see players, it's another thing. I just ask Arteta, if you're going to stay here, sporting director, wherever the fuck you are, Cronkies, wherever you are, fix up. Because you lot are not cheating yourselves, because you lot big houses, big money, you're cheating the fans. For a while, this football club, there was lip service and it wasn't correlating. Then there was a period where, fair enough, I still approached with an air of pessimism. But I did feel, at least being a fair man that I think I am, you're doing chattings and on the field is correlating, the talking is correlating. Now you've reverted back to type. Complacency, gross negligence, stupidity, incompetence, naivety, everything. There's not one single aspect as to why we're at. It's everything. It is what it is, man. We may just have to face facts, sadly, bro. It just may be time for change, freshen up things. There's been some great things, but everything comes to an end naturally. And again, I'm not saying persist with Arteta, but you've been here 6 years. You've been three titles. Maybe there is a case for a new voice. I hope next season you win the league if you're going to be here. Why wouldn't I want that? I know some fans will do this. I want Arteta to win the league because some people didn't believe in him. I don't give a flying monkeys. I just want Arsenal to win the league title. 30 years of age, last won the league, and we got no divine right to win that. But we have had a good chance. 30 years of age in April. Last saw us win it in primary school. I want to win the league for me and you lot. Like any fan of any club, why wouldn't you? Especially when you've been flirting with it. I can't speak for anyone. I know Arsenal fans do the woe is me thing. I love the fact that everyone hates us, you know. I love the fact, with the greatest of respect to fucking Brighton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Newcastle United, you're going to be terrible news for everyone in the Premier League because you lot are coming to try and dominate. These fans are doing the Lewis Skelly and chatting. I love the fact that we're rattled, that we've rattled the world, rightly or wrongly. I know Arsenal fans do chatting. I'm talking about when people do that and then, everyone hates us. I don't give a monkeys. I don't. There's not a single sportsman or that's achieved something or football clubs that have been universally liked by anyone. Nobody likes City. Nobody necessarily liked the Invincibles or the Chelsea sides or the Liverpool sides or half the individual sportsmen. Who cares? It is, bro. I'm on that. Hey, my guy, man. We need to link up. My guy, man. My guy. Pick up DJB, man. My guy. Everything's got to be on the table, bro. I support Arsenal, not Arteta. Like, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I'm open to trying something new. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. Like, realistically, we're not that club that's going to cut up that 15 million a year contract, pay out him and his advisors, coaching staff, bring in the next on, especially if, I know we're not getting Jabi Alonso or Inzaghi, but humour me, people, pay that release clause, bring in the next one and give him a transfer budget and pattern up the outgoings and the incomings and the new contracts. It's long, bro. So it is what it is, man. I've gone back to how I felt actually since when I started YouTube, actually, and that love the club, support the club, hope we win every game like everybody. Anything other than that, it's a bonus, innit? Like, they'll always have my support, whether I rate the players or the manager, whether it's going to be Arteta or a new one, they'll always have my support. But you don't need to support the fans now. Like, there's no ambition. Like, I don't think this is ambition. Fair enough. The way us fans want to go about things and the way they want to go about things, it could be very different. But nah, man, I'm not on it, man. And if I really look into it, bro, for as much people, like, there's many divisions. I think there's some people that are fond of Arteta, but they're not saying necessarily go, but they're like, raw. Is there a conversation to be had? I think there's people that are not fond of Arteta, but they might say, you know what, is there a conversation to have to keep him? Then you've obviously got pitchforks for Arteta, and actually more dangerous than anything at this moment in time is the Arteta sexuals. DJB, you go to the games. As much as they're online, they're there as well. There's this whole, how dare you speak about Arteta, which I find jarring because you can't gas up a man. And I'm not attacking Arteta, you know, but if you gas up a man and say he's this and that, you have to hold him to their standards. We know Bukayo Saka's a bad boy right winger. He's getting double figures, doing mad things. If he doesn't do that, we're asking questions. Why, when everything goes right, it's all the gaffer? When everything goes wrong, there's nothing. And this is why it's exhausting making content around Arsenal, because there's no honesty. Like, I genuinely feel there's reasons to be positive in jest, and there's reasons to be negative, and there's also the reality. The season starts in August, it ends in May. All that really matters is where you start and where you end. Where you started and where you end. In between, we can do the tactical thing, and we didn't deserve to win here, but we nicked it. We deserve to win here, and we lost. We can do all of that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And the most annoying thing is, I know it's not as simple as this, but if Arteta just goes back to the drawing board with a lot of things from a coaching front, bring in some quality, look after the depth. I'm not saying we're going to win the Tour de France and every other competition, but I could at least say fair enough. Like, again, if the club acted in the summer or the January period and we had these injuries, fair enough. You tried, didn't it? I don't know if there's something to be said about the rehab, because you speak to Liverpool fans. Apparently, Arnstein brought someone with him that helps everybody stay fit, and that they've not had any injuries at this moment in time. Maybe there's something that we done this year that we wasn't doing last year. Maybe the vast majority of our players have played a lot of games for club and country, even going back to around the COVID period where I'm sure there was a Euros and World Cup or something back to back, bearing in mind there was a Euros already. And the club, as in general, can't be stupid enough not to consider this if us as normal fans are considering this. And it's one where I'd love to be a fly on the wall. Unfortunately, we're not. So for me, everybody holds smoke. You're all in trouble. You're all in trouble. I always give the example. When I was younger, playing with my cousins in my grandma's house, someone broke something. There could be 5, 6, 7 people in there. You might have went toilet when it happened and just walked back into the room when your grandma was there. Everybody's getting beats. That's how I'm at with the club now. I'm not in this he say, she say. Everybody's in it in the same way. If we were 13 points clear and we were doing what Liverpool's doing, I'd give all of you lot your flowers. I'd rather keep up team same, just Trossard, Oyedeji, Butler, Oyedeji, Wanyeri up front. Want to see the kid. That's the issue. Mikel won't change. He's all committed on this crap system and literally put Marino up front just to play a system that's poor. The fact we got a young striker on the bench and won't give him game time even when it's not working, but people think Obi is wrong to want to leave. Why don't we recall some loans? That's gone. That's gone. Like I wouldn't say Nelson because he busted his leg as well, but the fact I don't think anybody here thinks Fabio Vieira is amazing and all of these kind of things, but as a body, I don't know. Maybe they thought something was going to happen in Jan and there was a twist in this in that. But again, I'm sure you tried to do something in Jan if it made sense. Reality is, did you or did you not? And we all knew it was predictable that there would be more injuries. For the simple fact is nobody here is stupid. When you've got an already depleted squad, a tiny squad anyways, then it gets further depleted. The ones that are fit are going to get knocks. Look at Wanyeri, who was one of our better players. Our last 2 games, the poor lad has had to come off. I said it. When did I say it? Whenever we had 13 games, and you lot knew, whenever we had 13 games left, I said, bro, the man think this is going to be the thing. 13, 90 times 13, 90 minutes plus 13, assuming that the 2 Champions League games we have coming up are the only 2 games. So it's going to get to the point Arteta is going to have to use them kids, whether he wants to or not. By God's grace, Wanyeri's cool. There's going to be a time man are going to have to sub him. I don't know who we've got before Chelsea. Is it United? He's going to have to be cute and clever. He might even have to start Sterling. Maybe not necessarily, even though I want Wanyeri to start, not necessarily start Wanyeri because you've got to play Chelsea the week after and Sterling can't play in that. And I'm not even getting at Marino. I can question mark your impact and whatnot, but bro, you're not a striker, bro. Like, this is nonsense. Like, when you break it down, we've been crap since the start of this season, not played any entertaining football, dropped off a level defensively, playing with a centre mid up front, and it's not Kai Havertz, it's Marino, relying on 2 kids for the majority of the season. Our defenders for large part of the season have bailed us out in both ends. Look at the last 2 games. The happiest thing as well is happy that we didn't lose to Nottingham Forest. But the more happier things about that is obviously from that corner when Raya made that that tackle, which was probably the only benefit of the West Ham game, and Ben White's effort towards the end, which didn't go in. Yesterday, Tierney put in a half decent cross. Who would have thought? You do the inverted thing, it doesn't work. You get some pace and some overlapping. There's a threat. Who would have thought? His cross was decent. Calafiori, I like him, but we're going to have to really work with you defensively, broski. You are a fire hazard. But he hit the post. Other than that, it's dead. And it's uninspiring. I think fans up and down the country, whether you were at Nottingham Forest away yesterday, whether you're watching at home, whether you're in Australia, America, Canada, Africa, wherever the fuck you are, like, you need to have something to buy into. You need to have something to believe in. Apart from of course, to a degree, I'm blindly following it. I'm an Arsenal fan, love the club. It's a beautiful football club. I'm not gonna have anyone sit here and tell me we're not a beautiful club. It's not a privilege to be involved in the club like these lot are. And that's what I want to see every week. I'm not seeing it. Forget the badge. Forget what I said about the fans. The man them are not playing for the name on the back of their shirts. I don't want to be that guy, and it's not scapegoating. And I know there might be some other factors. Odegaard, what's going on? What's going on, Capitano? Because I'm assuming because you're the captain, your name holds weight. Anyone that's played Sunday League, when the captain speaks, you listen. And I don't even care about the captain's band because the captain band ain't got no magical powers. Definitely not at the Emirates when we gave it to Gallas. Everyone stand up to be counted. Last season, it didn't fucking matter who wore the captain's armband. Everyone was on the leadership thing. It is what it is, man. DG, do you really believe top 4 is in danger? Break it down, gassing it up in the title a bit. But Personally, I must admit, I do think there's a degree of complacency from myself in relation to the top four. But we are closer to 10th than we are to Liverpool. And when you look at the title, 54 points. It's probably good that Nottingham Forest didn't beat us. They got 48. City are getting their act together. They got 47. Chelsea got 46. Newcastle got 44. We got a game in hand. Well, everyone's got a game in hand, more or less, them teams I said, apart from Liverpool, who played 28. That's 11. My maths is poor. That's 11 games. It can go left. We still got to play Chelsea. Yeah, our top 6 record is great. Still got to play Chelsea. Still got to go to United. Fuck. Liverpool, you've won the league. You've walked the league. I can't remember the last time we won at Anfield. Let us collect them 3 points at Anfield. You lot can start partying from now. Still got to go to Anfield. Eddie Howe, I'm sure. I might be making all of this up. Smash the like button. I'm sure we got to play Newcastle. And then you've got the Champions League fixtures sandwiched in between the Prem. And if we go through, again, keyword if, boy, DJB, shout me, man. You on Twitter or something, or tell me where I can find you, man. I need to get you on the platform. I agree, give Butler Deji a goal. He's a natural striker. And again, I'm not saying these guys are going to do the Wanyeri, Lewis Skelly, Smith Rowe, Saka thing, but in a good way. Them young G's might be so naive. Obviously, they're not stupid. They know about the club. They know where we are. There might be a bit of nerves and everything, but they might just be so, like we've seen before, they're just so gassed and happy. I'm my first start for Arsenal. I'm playing. I work so hard to be a professional footballer. You're going to at least... I think it gets scary when myself, as a fan, gets to this, but I'm going to see someone run. I'm going to see someone try to shoot. We're going to see this. You got all them pretty singer girls going and watching Arsenal with a culture club. All them pretty birds coming to the Emirates to watch us, and no one shooting from 30, 40 yards. Crazy. Yeah, we should have done the recall, man, but it's too late for that. Who's Antonio? Big up DG, big up everyone in the chat. I don't think we can recall loans when we already have 25 players in the squad. We got 25 players in the squad, bro. You could, if they wanted Fabio Vieira back, they could have got him back. Yeah, but didn't want to bring him back. Probably didn't want to pay the early termination clause. Didn't think you needed him, or didn't want him, or thought you was doing something else in the market. These are all possibilities, as I said. But again, you part that off on one side, and we actually look at what happened. Doesn't matter if we're happy about it, explain it or not. What happened? We didn't bring anyone. Standing out in the rain in flip-flops and complaining we're wet, bro. DG, we went from only needing 2 to 3 players in the starting 11 to really make our mark in the Prem. We left ourselves short with so much to do. Can you really trust the club to get it done this summer? As I said, P, showing is believing now. There's nothing else for me. I can only talk for myself. There's nothing else for me. I don't think the players want to lose. I don't think the manager wants to lose. I understand the club are operating however they're operating. But me, if you have to show me, who am I? I'm just one man. I'm just chatting shit on YouTube. I'm nobody. I'm just a fan. But for me, you have to show me. We'll defo talk about the rumors and all of this. You need to show me. I need to see shirts. I need to see the good players signing new deals. I need to see these things. It's that, like, they're going to come out and say all the crap they say. It's past that now, bro. It's therefore past that. We need footballers now. We have wrestlers and rugby players. This over-reliance on Havertz, that's on Arteta. Again, yes, and he fell upwards with Havertz. I don't buy the rhetoric. Some people say that we brought Havertz in to be a Swiss Army knife. I get it, because for club and country, he's not really a specialist in one role, but he can kind of do a thing in all of them. You don't spend, and I know the game's changed. You do not spend 65 million quid for someone to do that, because that tells me you're not a starter. Let's not beat around the bush. You tried to do Kai Havertz replaces Xhaka. It didn't bang. Initially, it was a short-term replacement for Jesus. It worked. He got confidence after a tough 6 months. We ran with it. Great second half of last season, Kai Havertz. And again, it tells you everything. If we're keeping it 100, we might not like Kai Havertz as a footballer. We might not think he's our cup of tea. He's a lot more reliable than half of them attackers, bar Bukayo Saka, now Wanyeri. And I'm not saying that to big up Kai Havertz or belittle the players. That's the reality of the situation. If Kai Havertz is one of your top goal scorers, if Kai Havertz is making a difference in that regard, you're not serious about fucking winning the league. But man, want to tell me there's no striker on the market. I hypocrite. I couldn't tell you what strikers. But you go and get Sesko, go and make it happen. And if it's true that Sesko wanted to stay for his development, great. But you also hear rumors that a man didn't want to sign because he don't think he can take Kai Havertz's spot. He might be a pussy for that one, but lied to him, bro. All the best managers are liars, bro. All managers are liars. You have to. It's all fun and games doing this NBA thing and whatnot, but yeah. You lot all picked Forest to win the game, so why are we moaning after they didn't lose? There's not another manager league that would be second if they had the issues Arsenal had. Okay, well, our manager finished second. That doesn't. Well, our manager's got us second. That's great. Big up Arteta for that. We are second. We are 13 points behind Liverpool. We are closer to 10th. There's more to give from Mikel Arteta as a manager. There's more to give from these players. That is great, Johnny. That doesn't help me. I don't understand that one day, man. I can't lie to you, Johnny. Big up yourself, but I don't understand like how that's meant to be the ray of nef to my pain. It's not an attacking coach. And the thing is, I can't say Arteta is an attacking coach because this year and last year didn't really do that. But you have shown it to me. 2022, 23, you've shown me that. There was I couldn't tell you the year, but before all of that, like when we was a mess, you showed me attacking things. I just think he's got himself in this way of playing now, and he doesn't want to deviate away from it. I hope he doesn't rush Saka back to play in the Prem, let alone rest him. It is what it is, man. And Liverpool get turf for their targets all the time, man. Slot got that 110 million money for Caicedo still in the bag. With our European heritage, we pattern up top baller guaranteed. Will Arsenal deluded? They have to show me. I think we'll make signings, keyword signings. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. DG, what's Liverpool's next fixtures? I'll be real, I don't even care, man. Big up Liverpool. Like there's no, they do their thing. I'll see who they play on match of the day, man. PSG in the champs, Southampton in the Prem. You get it. Arteta said in his presser, we lack the final pass, which is a problem with his coaching. I'm not gonna lie, Arteta. You've said that bare times this season. Now, what are we gonna do about it? I think it's a personnel thing, but yeah. It ain't just about the players. The way we play is stinky. Mikel wouldn't be able to do what Slot did with those Liverpool players. He ain't offensive, wants to do low block with offensive talent. Joke. DG, now, and I just think it's balanced because I'm not against that, but there's never no balance. Like this year, I just think we're existing. I don't think we're anything on the years we were before, but we done the mad attacking thing, done the crazy defensive thing, still came up short this year. Maybe I'm naive, but would have thought combined the previous years, we're bringing the players, we're laughing this year. It just is what it is this year, man. It's just been a mixed bag whether we've won, lost, or drawn. There's obviously been a couple of occasions where, like, calm. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. You want to win the North London derbies, but that's cool. Cool, great. We was all on it there. City 5-1, done what we needed to do. We did have some injuries in the Liverpool game, but we didn't see out the win. But I think we did okay in that draw at the Emirates. Other than that, it's same old, man. The club structure is a circus. I always tell I always tell Liverpool fans that complain about money their club spends. The difference with Liverpool is they had Klopp. They've got Slotty's experience. They did have Michael Edwards. We tried to do the novice thing. We tried Edu learning, Arteta learning, Jason Ito learning, this one learning, that one learning. Let's try something else. I do think Arteta is a good coach, but I only care about if you're a good coach at my club. And there has to be conversations about everyone. I'm questioning everyone. Questioning the ownership. Questioning if Arteta is the one. Questioning the vast majority of the players, bar the names that I've said a couple of times. Bro, we can't even trust the hierarchy to pick a good manager. When they picked Arteta and Emery, technically both have failed regardless of one FA Cup. If I played devil's advocate, which you're not wrong here, nobody knew. Everybody, well, we heard Pep and we did see the articles about City were gearing Arteta to be that, but no one would have picked Arteta. They tried for 2 years to go and grab Mikel Arteta. So that might show me that they can find people and they've bet on him. He never had if people say he's inexperienced now, what experience did he have to go off? Bar the all or nothing when he's working with Sterling. But hey, man, due to the pressure this season, lots of pressure and he's faded. Personally, I think the pressure has gotten to some of our players. 2 seasons ago, Odegaard was scoring for fun. No pressure on that season. Last season, gets half the goals and stops shooting. The buy didn't even work. That's how you know this season's fuckery, man. Does Arteta listen to his coaching stuff? He probably does, but at the same time, you listen to them, it don't mean you're going to take them on board. No one can be writing revision over Wenger. Bad boy manager. Man said 15 mil salary, shelf stackers at Tesco's. Big up the 9-to-5ers. Get sacked for being less competent. The guy's a dud. He must go this season. Where was the talk about being ruthless? Bearman's form was bad and no one thought of giving them the bench or bringing a replacement. Rest of the season and next season just going to be toxic and negative. Home games will be tough for the boys. And if the Cronkies care about anything, fans walked out in the West Ham game. That is the only thing that will make them think, hang on, what's no Wenger? slander will be tolerated. That's the only thing that made them think, hang about what's going on here. Bums on seats. There might be less money, less footfall in the stadium, in the stadium shop and that. He's fluffy. I don't think that's the right word. Top 4 Europa League in 2 Prem seasons, now 3rd. But if people want to run with the injury this year, cool. But how do you justify the previous failures? Because people don't want to look at this thing on an objective one, man. It's either I love Arteta to the world and back, I hate Arteta to the world and back. It's one of the best for my club, and I think every option should be on the table. You can't 100%. And I hope if Arteta stays, you win the Prem. I hope if you go, what people are saying, he's our Brendan Rodgers, the next guy comes, we run with it. I'm open to everything. I'm on everything. We can't say it. I think too many people are loyal to agendas. And at this moment in time, the Arteta sexuals. I've not heard any talk about half of them not making videos at the moment, but he coached the 4-0. The players let him down. PSG are not to be taken lightly in the Champions League. DG, where's our next goal coming from? I'm worried about top 4. Wait, when was the last time we scored a set piece? Like December. It's crazy, man. DG, what I mean is the EPL rules, 25 players in the squad. If we have 25 players already and no one being sold, then how do we recall loans or buy players when there's no space for them? We haven't got 25 players registered. And half of these players, a couple of these players are not, technically they can be in the squad, but they're not old enough to be registered. Congrats to Liverpool, by far the best team this season, 1 defeat all season. Everyone else nowhere near with consistency. And that's it. Congratulations to them. That's all you can say. They did their thing. Ran with it. I want Bertra, but Campos. We're now seeing the news about all of that kind of stuff. Again, at this point, I mean, we're going to go over it in just a second. I don't know how we got here and started ranting, but whether it's Luis Campos, this one, that one, when I see that somebody's been walked in, conversation, man, I don't really want to have convos about what this guy and that guy. Arsenal plan to appoint a new sporting director next month and are in the process of whittling down candidates before their final decision is reached. That was said an hour ago by David Ornstein. As we know, the position has been vacant since Edu Gaspar's resignation on November the 4th, which saw his deputy Jason Ito promoted on an interim basis. Ito remains an option for the full-time post and is joined by the likes of Dan Ashworth, Andrea Berta, Roberto Alabi, and Thiago Scuro of Monaco. I swear I did a video. I couldn't tell you where to find it, but I've definitely done a video on a couple of these names. The process was supported by a recruitment firm initially, helping form, assess, and reduce the long list prior to the smaller group of individuals advancing to interviews with the club's hierarchy. Sorry, people, I need to zoom into this. It's all on 80. Okay, so we've done that. Arsenal's ownership, Lala KSE, is heavily involved in the matter, and an ultimate call will not be made without its consultation, approval, and sign-off. I mean, it's expected. They own the club, innit? Amid continuing deliberations, Arsenal are yet to offer the job to any contender, and PSG football advisor Luis Campos, who has been linked, is not in the frame. So if we just accelerate forward, we have heard that Chelsea, PSG actually want to keep him, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Saudi Arabian Football Federation, which apparently they £200 million offer. I'd go and do that. So yes, we can stop doing all of that, talking about Campos. We know Edu was here. We know Edu's left. We know Arteta spoke about the process. Dan Ashworth, he left United. He's been at Newcastle. He's been around people. Because of when he's been around the British game, doesn't surprise me as to why he's been linked with us people. And he's now free to talk to other clubs. He's obviously been at West Bromwich. He knows Richard Garlick as well. Jason Ito, we've seen it before. He might be the guy to do that. Get progressed into that role. Apparently, he's taken up the baton in talks over the potential signing of Martin Zubamendi, who also led Arsenal's search for a striker in January, but ultimately was part of the club's decision to abstain from the market that month. Based on that, I think you're a strong candidate to get the job, because we do hear you're impressing internally. If it comes out and we sign a madness in the summer and you was planning from then and whatnot, fair enough. But I personally think in a negative way, it's on brand. Andrea Berta, a new name that's probably been thrown into the ring, I would say, in the last 24 to 48, maybe 72 hours. Former Atletico Madrid sporting director Berta left the Spanish capital last month after 12 years at the club. The Italian has spent time studying English in London recently to prepare for a potential next role in the Premier League. So that could be interesting. And you've seen the players Atletico have bought and sold, you know, Rodri, Griezmann, All Black. You know, they spent 180 million last summer and got Alvarez, Gallagher, Robin, Lenormand, and Skoloff. Roberto Alabi, he was at Sociedad. He's obviously helped them get Merino, Odegaard, David Silva. He's a Spanish like Mikel Arteta. Obviously, Sociedad and Arsenal have done some dealings for the last few years, and you hope that continues with this Zubimendi thing. And definitely, I'm not going to say his name, but you can see his name there. Big up Foxy, he's a Newcastle fan. I've got no hope. It's just blind optimism. So we'll have to see in that. And then you've got the Monaco guy, with Thiago Scuro. We'll have to see, and he speaks a lot of languages. I expect the vast majority of these guys to speak 1 to 2 to 3 languages at the very minimum. It's the nature of your job. Arsenal managed just 3 shots on target versus Nottingham Forest, people. Arsenal in the Premier League this season, 27 matches, 15 wins, 9 draws and 3 losses. We've scored 51 goals. We're going to get nowhere near the one last year. 23 goals conceded, plus 28 goal difference. We've got 54 of an available at this moment, 81 points, and we're in second place. Now, I cry about how good we are defensively in the final third and all these things, but the statistics, depending on how you feel, go against me, which is why I feel the eye test. Stats don't lie, but they don't necessarily always tell the truth. We've got a good base. You need to just stop fucking about and really try and build on this. Apologies for the French people. Obviously, we're closer to 10th. We're closer to Villa. Hey, what happened to Villa? That's how I know they're not doing well, because I'm not seeing the Emre over Arteta shouts. But boy, everything's still up for grabs. And apparently 5 places sums things up. Obviously, I hope Newcastle pip Chelsea into that. I can't lie, it's getting to that stage. We might need City to start losing games again. Might actually need Forest to... Oh, it's Forest versus City. Oh, gosh, it's getting tight. It's getting tight, isn't it? It's getting tight. It's getting tight. It's getting tight. Again, clean sheets. We're second. I think David Raya, obviously, he's made 1-2 mistakes, but he deserves a lot more clean sheets. And as I said, I think we've dropped off a cliff defensively across all fragments, pressing from the front, following runners, traditional defending, what have you. But we're second. I think we score, we lack goals. We're 5th. So that actually might actually back me up statistically. That might actually back me up, because look where we are. I'm surprised Brentford are going to start outscoring us as well. Obviously, Wiesman and Buemo will be making a difference. The set-piece juice has run out. Obviously, Saka and Kai Havertz are not there. But even with them, we struggle to score goals. And people could sit there and say, oh, you know what? We're only 2 points off the second top goal scorer, 2 goals, off the second top goal scorers in the Prem. Fair enough. Liverpool got Salah and he's having this great season, which is true. But it's intentionally being obtuse. Football is not one with field tilts. These are things that just paint a story and allow you to you know, stats. Things could be going good, and stats are telling you there's something bad. It's like there's a negative around the corner. You look at the stats and you try and arrest that, and things could be going bad, but stats tell you why it's good. Football games and Premier Leagues, they're not one with field tilts. And what's the latest crap I see on social media? Did you deserve to win-o-meter? When is that a thing? Are we the first team in this world that's ever had bare possession and all of these things and not won the game? This is football. Fans, young and old, proper football fans get it. Football's not won in the science labs. These lot sound smart. They wear the nice little shirts. When Arsenal go on the run, they suck off Arteta and everything the club do. The game's the game, man. It is what it is. But you would think we don't need to score goals. Wins. I don't think we've won enough. We're second for wins. But the club talk about fine margins. Yes, there's been injuries, people, but on the goals front, fair enough. You can't just find a Mo Salah every day. You definitely can't find a Haaland every day. You can't find an Isaac every day. But then where is our guys? Obviously, there's been injuries to the key men. All of these guys have been performing, to be fair, this season. Fair enough, Cunha. Is this actually how many goals they got? Well, it got to be, because Salah's got 25. Cunha's got 13. It's on brand, to be fair. Kluivert's had a good season. Shout out Mateta. Some good performing players on that list. Kai Havertz, 9. When last did we see him? Man didn't want Ollie Watkins. I'm having Leon Delap. What's going on there? Okay, 1 Liverpool player. So, yeah, you could say Liverpool players are not on double figures, but really, pardon me, you would imagine Cody Gakpo gets into double figures at some point this season. Diaz as well. So that's 3 players with double figures. Kai is not going to, obviously, he's injured, so that's irrelevant. Saka, if he comes back, that's something. But then look, the devil is in the details, people. Martinelli's got 6. I think he's matched his goal scoring from last season. It's a fallacy. Saka's obviously injured. He's only got 5. And there's no point. There's no point. Moreno's got 4. Hey, this is madness. Trossard's got 4. See, when you're trying to fight for a league title, it's an idiot thing. This is a fallacy. We're bringing blunt bread knives to gunfights. 66 goals, bro. How many defeats have been turned into draws into 3 points because of that? And you got City and Spurs, then you got Chelsea, then you got us. It is what it is. No excuse to be breezed out. 13 points separate first and second. 12 points separate second and 10th. Drawing yourselves out. Arteta on Arsenal struggling to create chances. I don't want to discuss that again. We know that. We have some time to reflect. We have a few days now before the PSV game. Fair enough, he's a bit peed off in the aftermath of the game, but there's nothing that, unless you do something drastic, play young players, drop someone, change formation, or the players just wake up on the right side of bed, I don't know. We're still waiting for the Dubai trip to kick in. We're still waiting for No Pressure FC to kick in. Arsenal failed to score in back-to-back Premier League games for the first time since May 2023. So when it actually matters, crunch moments, unfortunately. I don't really give a flying monkeys about Gabriel Magalhaes and Declan Rice arguing. I've seen my team win a league title and Sol Campbell and Lehman want to tear each other's head off. I'm cool with that. This is football. There's bare testosterone. That should happen. Arteta said, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I walked to the referees and our supporters and didn't see anything. They're probably demanding each other. I really don't know the topic. They should. Everyone should be having it out with each other. But at this point, before everybody have it out, but before you go screaming, Gabriel shouts at Rice, Rice shouts at this one, Odegaard says this one gets at Odegaard. Make sure you're doing all you can this season. You know, make sure you can have no regrets in that Nottingham Forest game or the West Ham game or at any point. And make sure before you point one finger, if you literally point your finger, people, there's 3 fingers looking back at you. If you do that and then you want to start talking, cool, because easy to blame. If everybody in this flipping football club individually takes accountability, the collective takes care of itself. It's easy to blame people. This is probably the thing that peed me off the most. Not because Nuno Espirito Santo said anything, but it's just simply common sense, isn't it? He reveals on how a lack of a striker influenced Forest yesterday. Arsenal don't have a striker, so with Mikel Moreno playing in that position, there's no need for an extra body in defence. Naturally, he's either not going to get service or him as a midfielder is going to drop into midfield. The overload will be in midfield, so it's about containing the midfield. Moreno drops in and creates overload. Maybe sometimes it's Calafiori that goes, but Rice, Odegaard, Moreno are there. No clear reference for our centre-halves. Facts, really. Someone done his homework, man. Liverpool have 7 players with 10+ goal involvements across all comps. Gakpo's been involved in 21. Salah 52. Madness. Diaz 16. Szoboszlai 12. Jota, who's been injury prone, 11. Darwin Núñez, who for me, I think on slot is going to get rid of you. Don't rate you. Trent is Trent. The lowest one is Harvey Elliott. He's little man in that team. We don't put up the numbers. Stats are not everything, but if there was stats that matter, it's goals and assists. That's what wins games. Forgive my ignorance. On Wanyeri, he was cramping from minute 45, so we're stretching him as much as we possibly could, but we cannot lose the player, and he was really fatigued. On brand. On Raheem Sterling's performance, listen, you can't blame none of the subs. Tini was probably, give or take, the best player on the pitch. The subs, bro, we know Sterling, Ben White, well, apart from Tini, Sterling, Ben White, Partey, there's someone else, maybe. None of you did anything to write home about. I don't want to hear no one scapegoat Raheem Sterling. Clearly playing shit, but come on. The best tactical decision you made was taking off Calafiori, and he said we can't play in a situation with 10 men. I think every Arsenal fan was shook. On Martinelli and Bukayo Saka, we have a meeting tomorrow to discuss where they are. Especially Martinelli, who probably has a chance before Saka to come in, but we're not seeing Saka this season, but by God's grace we do. Liverpool, the first side in 90 years to score 2+ goals in 18 consecutive top flight home games in all comps. That's the difference in mentality. Also, Arteta said about painful. We have a beautiful competition in front of us, and we need to do it against PSV. I mean, I don't even want to say Arsenal winning the champs, but if you do win the champs, it does paper over the cracks, but always somewhat forgiven. We are very disappointed not to win this game, but it's about what we can do now. We showed energy and willingness to make things happen, but lacked quality in the final third and the delivery to win it. We dropped 2 points again, and it's very painful. Well, he could have said that several times. Obviously, what have you said here? I don't want to see everything. I don't really want to read everything, man. In fact, F it. Let's do that. Very disappointing not to win it today. The standards were very different to the previous games. I did feel the first half was better than the West Ham game. The energy, the willingness to make things happen. We certainly tried many different ways. We dominated the game apart from one spell in the second half after 1 or 2 direct free kicks where they had something in the box and 1 or 2 giveaways that allowed them to run. Apart from that, nothing. With the amount of situations we generated, with the moments we opened them up, we lacked the final pass, the quality on that delivery, and certainly more shots on target to actually win it and be more efficient. We had 1 shot on target. We do if Arsenal was boxers, we tried to win it on points. There's a lot of jabs. There's not enough killer blows. For me anyway. Smash the like button and subscribe. On the challenge to find the system to score goals, we tried and adapting the quality that we have, how we can help the team to create different things, to have threats from different qualities. Probably they are not about arriving in the box and creating some magic moments. They are other kind of players. Try to adapt to that and do the best that we can. On our set pieces, we have 2 big chances, I think, from them. We generated at least much more, but it's true that it has to go in the back of the net. And it's been so helpful, especially when we lost so much threat and attacking options that we have. Set pieces have been a key element of that, and especially against a team that defends inside with such a low block. We couldn't open them up even with that, and very disappointing. Now, if you frame that, how many times has that been said? On how we can solve our goal-scoring solution. We have another day or 2 now to think before the PSV game. All the options that we have, especially against a team that is in a low block, even if they arrive, they will open up. If the opponent will be much better than us, then I'll probably be in a different state. I know what's lacking is that piece up there. And I just said there's a lot to play for and we need to find that solution. We've spoken about Calafiori already. We spoke about Ethan. On the academy players, we'll think about that. I think we have many more options still to explore. But we're probably going to see Calafiori up front before the Highlanders, in it. We can certainly do better with the situation that we're in, especially unlocking certain moments, the final pass, the quality on deliveries, the consistency after sustained attacks. We have to insist. They gave me reason to insist and support them the best way that we all can. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to hear about this, about anything about keeping spirits up. Whatever you lot have to do, you have to do. We spoke about Rice. We spoke about Sterling. We expect everyone to demand things from each other. On if they'll be back for Fulham after the international break. I think so. Ooh, does that include Saka? But again, let's see how they evolve in the next few weeks to make the right steps. Then after that, they've been out for so long time. So we're going to have to integrate them as well gradually. They're evolving well, but they're still a bit far. We have a meeting tomorrow to discuss where they are, especially Gabby, who has a chance before Bakao to come in. But how soon that is, we'll have to see how it evolves in the next few days. Okay. You see these fucking small margins and belief. Gaffer, I hear it, man. Allow me, innit? Jorginho said we need to find solutions. Unks, it's over, bro. We got 11 games. Start winning games for winning games' sake, innit? It's over, my guy. It's over, man. PSV away, United away, PSV at home, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home, Everton away. Apparently, we're far ahead of any other club in the race to sign Rosenberg, attacking playmaker Napan. Now, we've heard his name before. Until I see that we've signed you, it doesn't mean anything. Chelsea are to go all in for Liam Delap this summer. I wonder if that's something we should be doing. Osman continues to attract interest. Apparently, his wage demands have put off a lot of clubs. Chelsea are still looking at him. Previously, Arsenal, United, and PSG have had a sniff. Go over that. Sterling's been dispossessed 3.5 times, which is the second most in the Prem per night. Attacking player that happens. Apparently, Porto Samu, that's not your name, or something else. Samu, forgive me, I don't want to butcher and disrespect his name, but Samu of Porto has emerged as a transfer target for Villa, and the 20-year-old remains on the radar of Chelsea, Arsenal, and West Ham. Easy to link us with strikers for obvious reasons. Arsenal expected to go head-to-head with AC Milan for the signing of Club Brugge left-back Maxime de Cooper this summer. Spurs could make a move for Eze. Let's get involved, man. Oh, we've already gone over my man. Kimmich apparently has no concrete offer from Bayern. How long before they link us with him again? What's this? Good chance player will join Arsenal in the summer. This is about Garcia, who, as we know, has a 25 million release clause, which rises to 30 if he makes his debut for Spain. The Gunners don't seem to have given up on the 23-year-old after last summer's failure. The reports claims they've sent an official to Spain a few weeks ago, likely to keep an eye on Garcia. Espanyol rejected Arsenal's offer last summer. We have heard we've been linked with him before, people. We'll have to see. You'd imagine we're going to get called up soon for the Spain squad. Don't forget, people, actually in 12 minutes, I'm going to be live with Jess. So be here, and I'm going to have Gooner at 6 p.m. just because it's about time we started laughing, having a bit of a joke. You know, he doesn't mix his words. How many defenders? The mad thing is, we need to, man. We need to find a defender. Small margins, don't win your next 2 games and you'll be talking different. All he does is waffle. It's like the players have become bots, too systematic and controlled with little individualism. Put body in the bag for fries. I know that DG Nation isn't happy with the possibility of a hat-trick of second places in the Prem because we want to see trophies. The rest of the Arsenal fan base is the problem being happy with second. There's plenty of others that are unhappy, but I know you lot aren't. Bro, over the dead body, the body's in the morgue now, innit? The family's been informed. It's over, bro. No bantering, bro. And it's not even bantering, it's the reality. You ain't got a striker. It's just common sense. You ain't got a striker. Arsenal do not move the ball fast enough. We try to be perfect. We'll be compact. We don't need the extra defender. And even that, I'll be real. I think Nottingham Forest, I'm happy for it. And we've got our own issues, but I think they showed us way more respect than I thought. League table looks bad for Villa, but reality is they are 4 points off top 5 while still being in the FA Cup and Champs. The league drop-off should be expected anyway. That's a good point. Listen, man, too many nerds that obviously have not played football come up with these goofy terms. Trust me. I'm not saying you have to be a baller. I'm a Sunday league baller, but like all these guys that do this XG, overly uses of XG and all this crap. Let's set up a football tournament in the summer, man. Please, or just rise up 10 kick-ups with both feet and starting the ball on the floor, not picking up and dashing it in your hands. I'm trying to see something. The defense is title winning. Yeah, we're not as good as last year, but this is what happens when the attack is so bad. Same way, vice versa. If the defense is poor, the attack will be affected. It's crazy because defense wins titles, goals win games. Goals ain't won us games. And our defense can only hold out for so long. I don't know, man, if we can beat United at Old Trafford. I'd like to think so. We did it last time, but we don't have the best of records there. DJ, how many attacking players do you think we need? 2 to 3. I want a striker. I want a winger, probably more likely to play off the left. If they can do it, I know Wanyeri's here and he can play 10 long-term as an 8. The gaffer's talked about him playing up front. He can play off the right. But for me, obviously, when we've seen when Odegaard's been missing, because there was times we begged for him back, or like present where he's not doing the business, can we get another option there? I don't know if that means keeping Fabio Vieira. I don't know if that means getting the Napanyu over the line. Part of me feels Arteta, if Odegaard can't play for whatever reason, Kai Havertz, especially if you sign a striker, Kai Havertz will be the one that plays in the Odegaard role. Clearly, well, Odegaard's not doing it. We all know Kai Havertz doesn't have that guile on the ball, but in terms of the pressing and all that crap, you can probably do that. Arteta is a tinker merchant. That's the thing. He's not. Because you ain't tinkered with shit. Like you don't. You haven't tinkered with anything. You need to tinker now. Like for once, we're at the point you have to. You have to. You can't be Arteta out and not have a manager in mind. Arteta right man for the job. Lawrence, I don't disagree with anything you want to say if that's who you think. But by that logic, we don't know who the striker is. You want a striker. That doesn't mean much. Yeah, some of you can say Isaac and Gyökeres and all of these things. We know some of them are more realistic than others. Even if you think Gyökeres is realistic, that doesn't mean the club think he's the one. That don't mean nothing. That's BS. That's a cop-out, Lawrence, respectfully. I think that's a cop-out. We know we need a striker. We know we need a left winger. You can't all convincingly say that guy's going to bang. I don't know why you sell kitchen. I don't sell kitchens, but, you know, if there's brands that want me to sell kitchens, you know, give me a decent little offer, we'll make it happen. Seems like there's fighting in-house with Wenger shouts. I disagree on that. I think it's a cop-out. DG, we trust the new sporting director with a war chest and do what needs to be done. I don't think they're going to be able to do everything in it, because are they going to be given the power to sometimes say no? Because if Arteta is going to be here, Arteta is definitely not Arsene Wenger, but you need that David Dean. There could have been times David Dean didn't want to push and Wenger pushed on certain guys. 9 times out of 10, Wenger was moving a bit too crazy. David Dean could pull him in. But they have to be given a level playing field. Arteta is clearly favoured a bit more by the Cronkies. Liverpool replaced Klopp with Slot. There's coaches out there. Bro, it is what it is. Because what if this keeps happening for 3-4 years? Like Arteta, I'm sorry, Arteta's done a lot of good. He's done a lot of bad. He hasn't shown me enough to back him blindlessly. I'm not saying the guy needs to leave today, but I think there's logical reasons as to why you've probably gone past your sell-by date. And if you were moved on, I can't cry about that. Likewise, if you stay here, which is the reality, I want you to win the league and all these things next year. I don't really give a flying monkeys. I could waffle about how good I think Arteta is a coach. I only care about what you do at Arsenal, you know. I have no doubt you're going to go and do big things in your career. I only care about what you do on Arsenal. I hope we're looking back next year and say, boy, bloody hell, 4 years in a row. We finally got a taste of this. Let's keep it moving. Why would you not want that? I support my club. And as I said at the start, anybody connected to this football club, whether I rate you or not, as long as you're involved, you have my support. Support doesn't mean blindly not asking questions. Support doesn't mean not calling bullshit where I think. And I'm not saying I'm right. You have my support. I don't support anything blindlessly. I'm not on that. It's what it is. And what we can't act is like it's the first year of him taking the job. Donny's been here 6 years now, man. There's certain things I shouldn't be questioning. It is what it is. I think he'll quit. Maybe at one point. I don't think he's quitting this summer though, man. I'm just conscious that I'm going to be live with Jess in literally 7 minutes. I actually need to send her a link. So if she does take long, it's my fault. People, I've got one thing for you, and that's one thing only. Please make sure if you want to keep waffling about Arsenal, you join us at 4 p.m. So yeah, smash the like button, subscribe. This is my second live stream of the day. Big up Laurie. Was here with Laurie earlier. Obviously, I've been here on my lonesome, and I'm going to be with Jess in a couple of moments, people. I'm going to run to the toilet, send her this link, get that done, people. And win, lose, or draw, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys, man. Tomorrow, I should be live with Dan. We're going to be watching the FA Youth Cup together tomorrow. There's definitely something else. Saturday, I'm trying to get a fan show and a couple things. Going to have Matty, Southern Gooner as well. So, yeah, man, I'm trying to give you a lot of content, man. So, yeah, big up you lot. Stay safe, stay blessed. See you in 6 minutes for those that will be here, man.
Like